This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pitstop, where you, the pit crew, are the real star of today's show, because we're just here to BS and talk about sim racing and see what's going on in the wonderful world of sim racing news. So I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a real up and down, crazy weekend that was a lot of fun. There was so much wonderful racing on TV this weekend, so it was hard to get much done when every time I turned around there was something else going on, whether it was Blanc Pain, IndyCar, Formula One, NASCAR, or MotoGP, even if you were able to tolerate in Spanish, which I did. And in addition to that, I had a big race myself this weekend with Pacific Majors running at COTA, 2-hour-long race in the Corvette Daytona prototype, which made my third bad race in a row. 3 in a row. 2 of them were totally my fault. Mental breakdown. You might have seen the video over Thursday or Friday. They're both embarrassing for me. And maybe a lot of streamers would have taken those videos down. I leave them up there. You know, I have probably a couple hundred live races, and I don't think I've ever melted down before. So I have a pretty good percentage ratio of keeping my composure. But that did happen. And then on Sunday, I really had returned to form and was back to I was being calm, I was happy, I was working with my pace, and then 38 minutes into the race, my internet just completely went out. Took it about 15 minutes to come back to life. By the time I rejoined the room, I would have been 10 laps down. Not a lot of ground to make up in 10 laps in a 2-hour race. So that was the end of that, and that was a real bummer for me. But it was still a great weekend. Sorry, I probably blasted you guys there. It was a great weekend all in all because there was so much good racing. I did have a great weekend. So I hope you did the same. So here we are Monday morning. Happy Monday to everybody. What's going on in sim racing? Number one, Forza's got some clues about their... I already clicked this. Here we go. Forza's got some news about their latest car pack. So we get to play a game. So they're doing it via teases, not like silhouette images, how Gran Turismo would do it. But in their DLC, their add-on pack of cars that is coming, they have clues. So car 1, sure, it's practical, but it's really an epic journey. Car 2, it may set in the west, but it's more important than the rising begins in the east. Ooh. These are all clues to the cars coming. Anyway, I'm not going to read them all. I'll read one more, and there are 7 total clues. You can play the game and see if you can figure out what any of these are. I'm sure if it falls into your wheelhouse, you might be able to figure it out. Here's one that's pretty clear as far as the marquee goes. Are there any affordable classic Porsches left? Maybe, but this isn't one of them. So it's a non-affordable Porsche. No, Stu, I was having a great race. I literally really was having a great race, and everything was going so well, and I was like, each lap I was getting faster and more comfortable. Dave, you're right, I need to promote that channel more, and we have a couple more people right now. I have more people who are going to be adding to that channel, so I think with popularity, what Dave is talking about is the Simpit Pit Crew channel, which I don't have up on my screen right now, but if you search on YouTube for Simpit Pit Crew, you will find where I'm allowing you guys to create videos and content, show off your favorite sim or your favorite racing effort. So we'll talk more about that over the week and things going on. Gran Turismo, this is a big deal. So today must be the 9th. What do you know it is? But this is the Audi e-tron Vision Gran Turismo, straight from the PlayStation to the racetrack. So this is another one of those efforts where they really designed the car, got it all drawn up and everything, went into development, I'm sure, but then simultaneously GT Sport or Gran Turismo was modeling the car in-game. What blows me away looking at this Audi, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, is that not like really close to the shape of a Camaro? I mean, for a European car, that is the most I've seen Europeans copy an American look in a long time. But tell me that isn't part Camaro. Tell me that doesn't look like the shape and general idea of the Camaro and concept. But anyway, this is a car in-game, and it is beautiful, and I am very much looking forward to seeing it on track. You know, as they said, this is a car that was developed simultaneously for both. I think of the Mazda MX-5, the Global MX-5. They kind of did one of those with iRacing. The car came out in iRacing, like, here's how we modeled it. Take that back, Snon? What? Take back what? Oh, about the Camaro. William, no, they copied the Camaro. They copied. You should be flattered, not offended. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So there you go. Oh, esports. So we talked to Brendan last week in that spontaneous interview talking about the F1 eSport 2018. And he even mentioned, things that the drivers might need to do to separate them from the others. They don't show the finger wag here, unfortunately. They show the pass, but they don't show the notorious part. But in a whole write-up that was found at eSport Bet, it's talking about the same competition, and they talk about how to qualify, what you need to do, when is the draft, and other considerations. But that's something that we were talking about, Brendan, some of those other considerations. This is a draft. And just like other drafts, just because you're number one doesn't mean you'll go number one. And if there's only 40 spots or 20 spots, who's to say you should have been in? If you're 20th, who's to say you get picked? Maybe you fall to 21st or an unnamed, unchosen position. It could be your online persona. It could be how many fans you have. It could be your popularity and your streaming in addition to your success. It could be your resume beyond F1 2018's championship. So we are talking about things being looked at differently than they used to be as well. It used to be real straightforward in sim racing. Top is the top. Number one is number one. But now as it becomes a money game, number one could be marketability as much as success. Dirt, a lot of going on with Dirt. So they got their World Championship quarterfinals, and they kicked off yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was too busy preparing for my race. In addition to that, you have, I'm going to get to it later, but FA Racing, they're sending their boys into the Dirt Esport World Championships. So, there's a whole write-up at Yahoo News. This is getting so mainstream. This one was at Yahoo News. This, of course, is at the FA Racing Twitter feed. And the original story, of course, at Codemasters. But when we see it leaking into Yahoo News, this is a big deal. Gaming, sim racing gaming. I can't believe how quickly we're jumping up the ranks of the esport world. It's not like we're just some satellite, extra competition on the side. We are becoming the headliner. I play this because some of you will like it. I'm not a big fan of Ty Dillon or Austin Dillon. And if you guys don't know racing, you can do your own research. I'm not a huge fan of nepotism in motorsport. So talking about having the golden path to racing with no effort whatsoever. Now, with that said, these kids can race. You can't take their ability to race a car. It's just, if you had their avenue to the sport, unless you hated it, it would be hard to not be good. But anyway, the point isn't them, but the point is, here's a good shot of the RCR rig that Ty Dillon does to do his practice and demonstrations. If you look real carefully, you can see he has a Formula rim here, it looks like, and then the round wheel up there. So that's cool to see, and that is at iRacing.com. They're retweeting from RCR, Richard Childress Racing. Other thing, R-Factor, they have their leaderboard from the VEC, the Virtual Endurance Championships. You can see the teams that are leading in classes like Team Virez in P1, One ACO in P2, and Nitor Velox leading in GT class. So I'm just going to see important standings. I'll mention them so we can start to get comfortable with the names. So when we hear Nitor Velox has won something, Ajira Racing, Satellite Racing, we should know these names. That's like saying the Dodgers or the Giants or the Yankees in our world. We already talked about that. GT Sport also had the story on the Audi Sport. That made our photo there. And yes, it's actually real, they go on to say. We talked about that. Oh, look, there's the real-life version with Kaz at the wheel or at the door. Anyway, that is cool, and it's a beautiful car. That is a beautiful car. These are all in-game renders here. All the colored ones seem to be... Oh, that looks real. That looks real as can be. Holy cow. I missed that. Tell me that's not a Camaro. Sorry. Sorry, William. Sorry, Bucho. Moving along. Rick Motec, they had a professional Formula D driver who came by. Jeff Stoneback, and he approves of their sim. This was at that New York Auto Show. We might be having more on that coming to you very, very soon. Somebody, I'm not going to tease it any more than that. We might have more on what went on there with Rick Motec and the whole story there. Very cool article. I'd heard this over the weekend, and then this article was sent in to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to talk about it. Grand Theft Auto has made more money than any movie ever made. So when you're looking for, as they put it, the single media title, the biggest single media title in history, media being just about anything entertainment related, and Grand Theft Auto has brought in $6 billion. That is mind-blowing. That is wow. WTF1, and many of you might already be fans of WTF1, but they have joined up with the GPVWC. This is one of the big championships out there. You can see ACR Zach Speed is in the competition with Risto Capit and Alex Seibel. So this is another big meeting of the minds coming together, bringing bigger and bigger. You know, alone, you're so powerful. You join forces and maybe you double your audience and double your ability and certainly double your workforce. That applies to all of us sometimes. NVIDIA is starting to cut ties with the old products, but they're about to cease support for 32-bit PCs, which means you're going to have to upgrade or no longer get any updates. And in addition to that, they're going to stop releasing game-ready drivers for the Fermi GPUs. And I wasn't even sure exactly what a Fermi GPU was, but this does cover, like I saw, what, GTX 675, not the 690. I believe I have 690 on one of my machines, one of my older machines. Trailmakers, this is a game. I like Besiege. Anyway, just to crash them up. This might be a fun game just to play around with. I didn't even check what game system. I just looked at the video. I'm like, okay, it's automotive. It's got explosions. I'll talk about it. Lego man looking type assembly. Anyway, funny looking title. I thought I'd just let you know about Trailmakers early access announcement. Can we get a read on where that is? Steam, so that's gonna be PC. Steam early access. This is a funny promotion between, and it's showing what I've been talking about also, the combination or the utilizing of game marketing with real life marketing. I mean, you know, tangible hard product marketing. And what you have here is an affiliation between Need for Speed and Castrol. And it's kind of a cool concept. So what if you blacked out the interior of a car and you made it so the drivers were watching a video game while driving, and then you have the camera hanging. Oh, come on, where's one of those exterior shots? The camera is literally hanging. There it is. Oh, we saw it real quick there. On the back. And it's a real-life driver versus the gamer. And I just am telling you about it's neat because I don't think it was a true competition. And the way they edited it, I don't even believe the outcome. It was like, it was a millisecond cross the line finish by the driver to beat the gamer. And I'm going to call BS because the whole editing made no sense whatsoever. Anyway, but it was very, very cool just to see in concept. And importantly, seeing gaming being used in mainstream media. They are seeing the power of what we do. Gravel has some stuff going out with their multiplayer mode. So as Gravel's been released and we've talked about it, I haven't even looked at it yet. I got to go on a day where I just go from game to game to game in order to try out some of these new things that are automotive games and maybe not sims, but we need to know which ones are better. I mean, who would have known Wreckfest was so awesome without getting in and trying it out? Same thing could be said about Gravel. And, you know, anyway, so they've got some enhancements and things going on with their multiplayer. VVV has a thing on Not My Car, the world premiere. This is some gameplay footage showing how you navigate and shoot and do all that kind of stuff in this crazy game, which I could see this being very fun. This could be a great Monday fun day. We found in Wreckfest that the team events were some of the fun ones. The same could be said here. Oh, look at that. We got a Billy Strange video right there. Assetto Corsa. Running Simpit DRM series. DTM, sorry. Dragon, what do you think of Gravel? We talked the other day about the Razer Game Store. Now we can see it. It's launched. And you now have them selling games just like Steam. And they are coming into that whole market. In addition to that, what they have is their rewards program. So 15% off with their launch code. Here, $15 Razer Game Store voucher. So when you, I believe, yeah, $10 off peripherals. So the difference is when you buy products at their hard item stores, Razer, keyboards, mice, headphones, whatever, you might get coupon codes for discounts and things like that. RF Night Stalker. I have an water-cooled i5. I don't remember the exact speed, but it's pretty new and it's pretty fast, with a 1080, not a tie, but a 1080 video card and like 16 gigs of RAM. Not a bad and not a great machine. If it was just a solo racer and that's all I did, it's more than enough machine. For doing what I do, it's not quite enough. Here's a review. Any of you want to check out the MX versus ATV all-out PlayStation 4 Pro. So this is like the updated version of the much-loved game. And I haven't given it much attention because, well, I got a lot going on and there's a lot of things to cover. So that's another one of those sit down all day and just play it games with a handful of others. And maybe we'll do that coming up pretty soon. Paul L., I have not used those pedals, so it's hard for me to give you an accurate opinion. I tried a very, very, very early version of the P1 version, we'll call them, PT1, and they were very nice. For the money, they were exceptionally nice. And I can think and expect that with time, they'd get better. They'd get feedback from more users, make some adaptions, and I would expect the PT2 to be even better. Oh, here's another review on Urban Trial. You know, some of the most fun. Hey, Michael, Maxie, come here. Max. Well, there you are. Come here. Come say hi. Can you guys see Max? Come here. Oh, say hi. There he is. Oh, you're almost in frame, but not quite. All right, there's our Max distraction of the day, everybody. I'll take that anytime now. He's my buddy. Anyway, one of the most fun games I've ever played that wasn't totally racing was a Trials game. I haven't tried this one out. This is for the Nintendo Switch. I've done the one that's on the PC, and it's exceptional. Different company, I believe. But one of my favorite type of games. So Switch content is growing. Here's an article showing us that finally GPU graphics processor units, is that right? GPU are graphics cards. Prices are finally stabilizing. So they show here at its peak, if you look back early March, you're looking at about $1,400 for a GTX 1080 Ti. And they have now stabilized. There was a little dip all the way down at March 28th back to $900. Max, you get treats. I got coffee, you get treats. Thank you, Viking. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. I much appreciated, everybody. I really, really appreciate the support you guys give the show. And, you know, in addition to those being here is a huge support to the show. Spreading the word about the show is a big support to the show. And, of course, donations help us get things like new microphones and cameras and increase the quality. And we're going to get to some of that topic at the end of the show, which is moving along, but I still have more to talk about. Here's a road to VR, and they're basically talking about, we already talked about the Festival of Speed Sale, but they kind of targeted specifically 3 games that they like with the VR experience. I didn't know Dirt Rally did VR well, but I've done Project Cars 2, exceptional in VR. I've done Assetto Corsa, exceptional in VR. Dirt Rally, those are all discounted titles. Other than John Hill, does anybody in the audience know who this is and where they are? If anybody can tell me where they are, I'll be impressed. And if anybody can tell me who that is, I'll give them Simpit stickers other than John Hill. Michael Clark might know. Who is that, Michael? Who's this? I'll give you clues. That scruffiness is perma-scruff. That's a intended length. This watch is a dead giveaway. And the rig is a dead giveaway to anybody who, too much clue. Too much clue. It's gone. MXGP Pro promises to be the most realistic motocross experience yet. We're going to have to get this in the hands of Billy Strange because he was able to give the Monster Supercross the full shakedown. So he'd be the best one to give us the opinion. But I don't know how doctored that photo is, but that looks pretty real. I mean, if you just showed me that, it would take me a while to detect that is a game shot. I mean, I would buy that for a real shot until I started looking at little things like the humans and the way they're standing. 16 gigs. Anyway, this is due out in June, I believe it said. June? Yeah, June 29th. We'll play a little of their video. Hope it doesn't get everything pulled. Not really showing us enough to get a good idea of the gameplay. That's all either cut shots or they're... So, I'd like promos that show you a little more of the action, not just the dressing. No guesses. That's a great guess, Randy, but you're not correct. It's a tough one. That was a tough one. I should give away something bigger than that as a prize with how difficult instant contest that became. I'll go back to that before we get done with the news and we move on. Jake Sperry, you might remember or know his name from Sim Racing Observer. I don't know the whole story here. I read a little of the article. I haven't read the stream. Kutu, from my understanding, streams the iRacing World Championships. Jake Sperry, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the announcers on Race Spot TV covering the World Championships. I guess he made some comments about Kutu because he didn't like what they're doing. I don't want to put any words. Anyway, something went on between all of them via streaming comments. And Kutu, I guess, invited Jake Sperry to a podcast. So they have a 54-minute discussion. And I think it went better than you would expect because the setup sort of it makes it seem like these guys were in a massive feud. But that might be worth hearing. I'll probably be listening to that later. It just got brought to my attention, so I have not had a chance. No, it was a trick question. You'd almost have had to have gone there and also would have had to have really paid attention. It was a stupid contest. I apologize. All right, so no, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. Richmond Raceway Esports. We talked about this a while ago. Well, it's about to really, really kick off. This is at the April 21st, I believe. Yeah, April 21st race. This is going to really go on. It's going to be a big deal. This is going to be their live esport going from racetrack to racetrack. They have a whole thing here at Richmond Raceway Esport. Looks like the in-life competitions so far, it's looking like it's really going to be the NASCAR 2. They talked about iRacing. Well, this Chaos Crew sponsorship might be the crossover. No, it's nobody you guys are thinking about. I totally cheated you. Let me finish this story and I'll go back and tell you who that is. Nobody would know him except for if you've been there and you've met the owners and gave it thought. But if you hang out there, it's so obvious. So anybody who does, I know we have a few viewers who do go there. And if you've gone there, you might have met me there at some point. There. Anyway, it looks like the iRacing affiliation might be limited to the sponsorship of the Chaos Crew. Don't know if they're going to fly those guys out to the races to have them part of all of this. But 11 a.m., some fitness session, 11:30 NASCAR NASCAR Heat 2 tournament open racing, and then at 12:30 the championship race. Then at 12:40 a champion versus a NASCAR driver, and then followed at 12:55, so that's only a 15-minute race. Wow. iRacing tips and tricks powered by Velocity Micro. So they're going to be like teaching people about sim racing at this whole in-person esport promotional thing they're doing with NASCAR. Yes, I am racing today, but probably not what you think I'm racing on, Star Fox. I have a lot going on today, so we're going to talk about that and move on. Anyway, let me finish up. I promised I'd go back to that story. Where was it? There it is. Okay, so I'll just give credit where credit is due then. This is a CXC Simulations, and there's a little teaser right here in the bottom of the photo. That's when I clicked away. I noticed that was there. And this is one of their promotional photos from their website that was stolen, and I'm not calling anybody out because I do that all the time myself, but Road to VR grabbed that photo to show off VR, and that's one of the promotional photos of a CXC, and that is Jochen Repulst, the co-owner of CXC. So if you've ever been to CXC Simulations, everybody knows Chris Considine. He's out in the public. He is the face of CXC. And Jochen, who is a great guy and an amazingly fast sim racer. And I say, well, he's exactly my speed. Me and Jochen have had some incredible battles, and back in the day doing like Wednesday after work race parties at CXC. Jochen was one of the fastest guys out there, and some of the pros too that show up there are really fast guys as well. Anyway, that's Chris's partner, Jochen. So there you go. Okay, hold on. Esport will be dominant sport, just like football, by 2020, claims a new study. This is the Daily Star magazine, and they say football. I say football. No, I say soccer, so Americans know what I mean, but I do call it football when talking to someone from a proper football fan country. In America, football isn't anything but football. But they're talking esports is here, 2020, and esport will be as big as real or physical sport, we should call it. William, yeah, Jochen will probably be there, and he's really nice guy, really, really cool guy from Austria. I believe it's just a Casio. He's a heavy workout guy. I think he uses it literally for running. Oh, Wreckfest, Star Fox. Is that what you're asking about? No, we're gonna come to that in a moment. Hey, logically. Anyway, okay, now, article at Race Department says, well, and this is quoting Hamilton, dickhead Verstappen move. Who's to blame? So who watched the race? I saw a few of our guys arguing about the contact and who was at fault. So I'm going to do something I almost never do. I want to know your guys' opinion. Who was at fault? It was hard to find, and I'll probably get my video pulled just for showing and playing this, but it was nearly impossible to really find a video of it without it being too far into the corner. But here's the contact between them. And some would say that Verstappen pushed him wide, and some would say that at that point it was Verstappen's line and get out of the way, Hamilton. Anyway, the end result was a cut tire and the end of the race shortly after from Verstappen for what was one of the worst days in Red Bull history that I can think of. Double DNFs. I think they took last and second to last in the race. Yeah, see, it's a lot of people say Verstappen, but in modern era, I've seen this as being non-called a million times. At some point, are they going to have to stop this? I mean, it just happened to Hamilton. That might change the rules. It was a very aggressive move. And fair is debatable. Anyway, Hamilton called him a dickhead. A lot of people were putting videos up showing pictures of the incident because, again, you touch F1 video and you can plan on losing everything. Anyway, it was one of those you make the call moments, and it sounds like we have an overwhelming opinion that it was Verstappen's fault, and Hamilton survived. He went on to finish third, right? Didn't he finish third? Here's an app here that is for sim racing telemetry. Haven't checked it out, but this could be a cool add-on to your phone. It's at the Google Play Store. Ratings aren't so good. Opinions, I haven't read through them. Looks like 10 unsatisfied versus 5 super satisfied people. But it could be interesting. Something I might want to talk to them, check out. Maybe some of you have checked it out. If anybody does, let us know what you think. Even if you haven't today, check us tomorrow. If you know, let us know. And let's see. The last story I have is that Feel VR, that wheel, they are going on Kickstarter. I'm not telling you to go buy one. I'm not telling you not to go buy one. I will say I have mixed feelings on Kickstarter type investment and company. I will say that I always question new products, but it is news. The early bird specials will be there, and you can be one of the ones to grab the early bird deals on the Feel VR. If you like what you've seen, if you believe in what you've seen, if you're willing to take a gamble, you can get in before they're even available. And it is a significant deal, but I am stating the risk. I think there's always a risk. You'll have to ask people who've invested in other Kickstart campaigns. I'm not trying to single them out in any way, shape, or form. Steam, you pass on all VR. I think we mean a different kind of VR here, buddy. So that is going to do it for the main portion of the news show. What else do I need to let you guys know about? Let's start with me. This weekend is Long Beach Grand Prix. El Bucho, Franco are both coming from Chicago to LA to watch LA Grand Prix. We'll be hanging out at the track. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One of my best friends in the world is coming in from Houston to hang out with me for the whole race. Actually, he's coming in Wednesday. John Hill will be down there. I'm not sure what days. We have a special interview that I'm not going to say publicly, but I have a very special interview going on Saturday. If you are in the area, look for me. I'll be wearing a Simpit shirt. Here's my look. You know what I look like. There'll be a bunch of us. And if you get down there, try to hook up with us. Try to find out. If you know you're going to be there, please contact me. Let me know. And we'll try to create at least one moment where we know we can all meet at some central area, like the King Taco stand. I like hanging out there. Anyway, that is coming up this weekend, but it means that Friday I will not be doing any shows. Saturday, Sunday, no shows. Last year, there was no cell reception at all from the race because so many people had their cell phones. You just couldn't do anything. So I don't know if I'll even be able to do any live streaming from there. I will be recording footage and bringing it back afterward. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing. I will be on the air all the way through Thursday evening. And then next week, thank you, Mitchie. You wouldn't be any help. So, yeah, look down. Look around. I'm loud. You'll hear me. You might not see me, but you'll hear me. So, anyway, and then the following week, I'm just giving you guys a little heads up. I am moving on the 20th, so I'm going to get back from Long Beach. I'm going to try to get some stuff done, and then it's right into pack and move and try to get back on the air as quick as possible. I'm doing everything on my part to minimize the amount of downtime, but I can't control everything. So I'm just giving you a heads up. I'll give you firmer dates on everything as we move on. Monday morning, I will be back with the pit stop for sure, though, just so you know. So it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have nothing going on. What else? Michael Clark. Are you still in the house? Michael Clark. Michael Clark is one of the biggest donors, supporters of the show. And periodically, Michael Clark likes to throw out random challenges to me and Mitchie. And sometimes we want to extend that to the crew as well. So what we're going to do, and this is in honor or the Michael Clark challenge. The last one was that crazy hill climb in the Dallara FX17, I think it was. But this time, we are taking the Top Gear infamous Reliant. Robin around Bathurst. So you are going to see Mitchie and I. We're going to be doing that at 11 o'clock. We will probably open the door up to a few of you to join us. We're working that out. As soon as I finish this show, I'm moving into trying to get a server up on that. And we will go from there to see what we can do and control. But the Michael Clark Challenge will be going on with me and Mitchie and maybe others. And that is starting at 11 o'clock this morning. And beyond that, we've been doing so much Wreckfest. I just want to let it breathe for a while. We did a great one on Saturday. That was incredible on Saturday. And if you didn't get to do it, then you need to check out that video from Saturday, Wreckfest with friends or enemies. William, can you share a link with me in the Discord real quick? I'm sorry. I totally forgot about it. But tonight, I'm just going to go back to the original Monday Fun Day just to keep it a little simple and to mix things up a little bit. So today, I am going to try out TT Isle of Man. And I've been trying to do titles that were a little more funny, a little more amusing. What will be funny or amusing is I do not know the layout of Isle of Man, and I'm going to be running it on a motorcycle, which means we'll probably have about as many crashes as we do in Wreckfest. Motorcycle style. So we're going to get to see a little bit of what that game is made of. So Monday Fun Day is going to I'm going to cheat a little bit. Instead of doing a diversion game, I'm going to cheat and get ahead of or catch up on things and get to one of those titles that I've been neglecting and really, really, really want to cover. So, what else? Bucho, any link for me, buddy? You got a link for me? Beyond that, that is going to do it for today's show. I can tell you it's starting up in 2 weeks, I believe it is. We are going to be doing a Simpit SRS series in Race Room. This has been in the works. This is the old DTM cars. Waiting for a link to the series. There might not be one just yet. Actually, tune in tomorrow. You want to hear about our SRS Race Room series? I'm going to have all the details tomorrow. It is starting up. We're going to continue. We'll be still doing our Assetto Corsa series. So it's going to be Thursday and Friday nights as usual for our Simpit series in Assetto Corsa. And we are now taking on a Saturday morning series running in Race Room. Saturday morning my time. So that should be available to a lot of the Europeans. And that should be a lot of fun as well. And that's starting up as real soon. So go to Sim Racing Systems. You might be able to cheat and get all the details there. Otherwise, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow. And I'll have all the details so you can come out, join, and race with us there. Or on Thursday and Fridays with the Assetto Corsa. So much going on. Oh, Joa just got me a link. Sorry about my clunkiness here, and thank you for the support, guys. But yeah, here is the new series coming April 9th. Well, that starts today, so it's this coming Saturday. Sorry, it's not 2 weeks. It's this Saturday. Obviously, I am not going to attend, but a lot of series opening up in Race Room. So if you haven't checked out Sim Racing System yet, you definitely want to. It's free. As of now, I'm waiting for the day where all of a sudden it comes at a fee. So don't be surprised when all of a sudden it costs you money. But what he offers is so unique, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, I'm not encouraging them to do that just yet. I'm just saying you can race on Saturdays in the 2017 WTCC, World Touring Car Championship. So I screwed that up with what car we're running. I want to thank William Bucho for bringing this on, and he's been kind of acting as the race director for the Sim Racing Systems stuff that we got going on. Thank you. Let me bring up the center monitor. There you go. Thank you. And I want to thank him for helping us do that, and that's a big help, and it's helping us expand what we're doing and just trying to bring more racing, more coverage, more fun at the Simpit. So I am way over. We're at 40 minutes. I apologize for that. That's too long. That's way longer than most people's breaks. So thank you very much for being here. Hope you all had a great weekend, and this is going to set up for a great week. And again, I am super looking forward to this weekend at Long Beach. And Michael Clark, who I can tell you, No BS when it comes to Michael Clark. He's sincere. He just put a bounty on the race. First place, $50. Second, $25. $10. And third, is that how it works? In the race at Bathurst. So that means I need my server open to all. Michael's going to help me determine the who and the how. We know the win. It's going to be 11 o'clock. We know the car, Reliant Robin. We know it's at Bathurst. So you can tune in at 11 to find out how we're going to give tickets for entry into our private server for the Michael Clark Reliant Robin Bathurst Challenge. And that'll be 11 o'clock. And if I don't get off the air, we're not going to make 11. So that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a fun show. And this is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.